first thing that moved was her favorite cup. That's the part nobody believes when I tell the story. People expect something dramatic. They expect me to say the lights exploded, or the windows shattered, or some shadow appeared in the corner of my room. But it wasn't like that. It was just a cup. A small, white ceramic cup with tiny blue flowers painted around the edge. The same cup my grandmother used every single morning for as long as I could remember. And 3 days after we buried her, it moved across my kitchen table by itself. I was standing 2 feet away when it happened. No wind, no shaking, no explanation. Just a quiet scraping sound against the wood. I still remember how I froze. Not because I immediately thought something impossible had happened. Actually, my first thought was the opposite. I thought, I'm losing my mind. Because grief does strange things to people. At least, that's what everyone kept telling me. My grandmother died quietly in her sleep on a Sunday morning. Peacefully. That was the word everyone used. She went peacefully. Like that was supposed to make losing her easier. It didn't. Because peaceful for her meant silence for me. No more Sunday phone calls. No more handwritten birthday cards. No more random messages asking if I had eaten enough that day. My grandmother, Elena, wasn't just my grandmother. She was the person who raised me when my parents were always working. She taught me how to cook, how to sew, how to stop apologizing for existing. She knew when I was sad before I said anything. Sometimes before I even knew myself. When I was little, I used to joke that she could read minds. She would just smile and say, "Not minds, sweetheart. People." At the funeral, everyone cried. My mother, my cousins, even my uncle, who I had only seen emotional twice in my entire life. But I didn't, not one tear. I just stood there watching them lower her into the ground, holding a black umbrella, feeling like someone had pressed pause on everything inside me. People hugged One morning, I was arguing on the phone with my mother. She wanted me to sell my grandmother's house. She's gone, my mother said. Keeping everything won't bring her back. I don't know why those words hurt so much. Maybe because part of me knew they were true. But I screamed, "Stop acting like she was just a problem to clean up." And suddenly, every cabinet in my kitchen flew open at once. My mother went silent on the phone. I went silent too. I stood there staring, heart racing, hands shaking, because I couldn't deny it anymore. It was me. Somehow, it was me. The first person I told was my best friend, Sarah. I trusted her more than anyone. We had known each other since we were 12. She knew every embarrassing story, every mistake, every secret. Almost every secret. We sat in her car outside a restaurant because I was too nervous to go inside. "I need to tell you something," I said. She looked worried. "What happened?" I explained everything. The cup, the book, the cabinets, all of it. When I finished, she stared at me. For 1 second, I thought she understood. Then she laughed. Not a cruel laugh, almost a nervous one. "Wait, you're serious?" "Yes." Her smile disappeared. "Mia, I know how it sounds. You just lost your grandmother. I know what I saw. Grief does things to people." Those words again. Grief. Like it explained everything. Like missing someone could open cabinets and throw books. She reached for my hand. "I think you just need time." I nodded, pretended I agreed. But something broke between us that night, because she didn't see me anymore. She saw someone damaged. My boyfriend Daniel was worse. I didn't want to tell him, but hiding it felt impossible, especially after what happened at his apartment. We were arguing, something stupid. I don't even remember what started it, but I remember what he said. "You've been different since she died." I looked at him. "Different how?" "I don't know," he hesitated. "That's the problem." I felt the anger rising, not at him, at everything, at losing her, at being alone with something I didn't understand. The glass beside him suddenly cracked, right down the middle. Neither of us moved. Daniel looked at the glass, then at me, and I'll never forget his face, because for the first time, he looked afraid of me. After that, everything changed. He still loved me, I think, but carefully, like I was something fragile or dangerous. He stopped surprising me from behind, stopped joking when I was upset. He watched my emotions more than my face. Eventually, I stopped telling people. I smiled again, pretended again, just like after the funeral. Except now, I wasn't hiding sadness. I was hiding myself. Then I found the diary. It was almost 2 months after my grandmother died. I was cleaning her house, not selling it, just cleaning. In her bedroom, behind an old wooden drawer, I found a small leather notebook. I recognized it immediately. She carried it everywhere, but she never let anyone read it. I always thought it was recipes, memories, normal things. I was wrong. The first page was dated 40 years earlier, and the first sentence made my blood turn cold. Today the vase moved when I cried. I stopped, read it again and again. My grandmother, she had it too. page after page, year after year. She wrote everything. How it started after her own mother died, how emotions controlled it, how she learned to hide it. She wrote about being scared, about almost telling people, about deciding not to. One sentence stayed with me. People say they want magic in the world until they see it standing in front of them. I cried reading those pages because for months I thought I was alone. But she had lived an entire lifetime carrying the same secret, and she never told anyone, not even me. Then I reached the final page. My hands were shaking before I even read it, because I saw the day she died, her last entry. Only 3 lines. I feel my time coming. I know where it must go next. And the last sentence, I gave it to you. Take care of it. I sat there holding that diary for hours. For the first time since she died, I didn't feel like she left me. Not completely. Now, years later, I still have the diary. I still have the cup. And sometimes, when I'm alone in my kitchen, I swear I can feel her there. Not a ghost, not a memory. Something else. Something she trusted me with. I'm still learning what this gift really is, and why our family has carried it for generations. But last night, something happened. Something new. I was looking through the diary again when I noticed a page I somehow missed, hidden in the back cover. A message, written years ago, but addressed to me. It said, "If you are reading this, the gift has awakened. Now you need to know the truth. You and I were never the only ones." And underneath, there was a list of names.